Now, none of you would say, oh, and none of you would want to worship the devil. You would say, oh, I would never, ever, I can't imagine myself worshiping the devil. If you fear him, you have worshiped him. Okay? That's why the Lord cautions us to not fear the enemy. We shouldn't. We have no reason to. And when you think about fear, what is fear? It's a feeling. Fear in and of itself can't hurt you. It's how you react to it. You know, these people that I question their sanity, but they climb up these skyscrapers. When we had the World Trade Center still standing, the Twin Towers, there was a man that put on his climbing shoes, and he got over to one tower and climbed straight up. Now, I'll tell you something. When you go straight up, you know, ladders, usually you pitch them a little bit, right? Can you imagine going straight up? It feels like you're back like this. Quarter mile straight up. A quarter mile. He got to the top. He threw a hook, the block, with a turnbuckle and so forth, to the other tower, hooked it on, tied it off, walked across the cable between the towers. Then took that apart and then proceeded to climb down by hand on the outside of the second tower. I got to give him this, he was in shape. But one slip and you've had it. But the reason I mentioned that is he obviously had conquered fear. He wasn't afraid of heights, so you wouldn't have got him up there. And fear is, I've known people who would walk on a railing in a skyscraper. Just walk along as if it was 6 inches off the ground instead of, 110 stories. Didn't bother them a bit because they realize fear can't hurt them. It's just a feeling. It's their reaction to fear that causes all the trouble. So this particular verse says, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear." Lo and behold, fear is what? A spirit. The psychologists would tell you it's an emotion. It is a reaction. You know that if there's danger, you have an auto response that causes you to run from danger. Well, that is true. You know, we do duck out of the way. We do try and dodge danger, right? But fear rather is a spirit. It is a being, not just an emotion, not just a sensation or a feeling when you look at it in this light. Okay? So in other words, when you feel fear attacking you, we know that it can't hurt us because we are shielded from the powers of darkness. Okay? It can't hurt us. Jesus said, "Nothing shall by any means hurt you." But if you put yourself in the realm of fear, then another spirit comes in called torment. Now, if you hold your page, let's go over for just a moment to 1 John chapter 4. Okay? In 1 John chapter 4, verse 17, it says, "Herein is our love made perfect, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment, because as he is, so are we in this world. There is no fear in love, but perfect love." Whose love is perfect? The Lord Jesus Christ has perfect love. All right? And he teaches us to have that love. But perfect love casteth out fear. Fear has to be cast out. It doesn't evaporate. You've got to literally take hold of it in the Spirit and thrust it out. And it happens when you come to the realization that the love of Jesus Christ is perfect, and you feel that love, and you are in the very midst of that love. Fear can't survive. Perfect love casteth out fear, because fear hath torment. Now there's another spirit that comes in. If you allow fear to be there, torment will come in. He that feareth is not made perfect in love. Love can be perfected. Some people say, how do I get rid of the fear? By being made perfect in love. They try to deal with fear, deal with fear, deal with fear. No, let's deal with love. And the fear won't be there anymore. So you've got to lay hold on the love of God and understand that He is with you. He's not trying to trip. If God wanted to trip you up, you would be tripped up. The Lord is here to help us. He's on our side, not on our back. The Lord is with us to help us. And then, of course, it says, we love Him because He first loved us. That's where the impetus was. That's the beginning of it all. The love of Jesus Christ toward us. Then we respond to that. And if we feel His love and we respond to it, fear cannot survive. That's why in the occult you have fear constantly. Why do people go to horror movies? Well, for that matter, why do they ride roller coasters? Can you imagine somebody going and getting a perfectly good lunch and then go on a roller coaster and lose it? And you see these roller coasters, and they're going up and around like this and that and this way and that way, and they're screaming, ah! Huh? Why would anybody do that? You might say, the thrill of it all. It is the fear mechanism that comes over them, triggers their adrenaline, gives them a high. That's why witches get so deep into the occult. They love to be scared. Freaky things, scary things, weird things, the macabre, the clandestine, the twilight zone. People like that sort of thing, if they're entertaining the spirit of fear. I don't like those things. I don't want to go and sit there and be horrified and terrified and watch people get all cut up and butchered with a chainsaw and whatever, you know, all this kind of nonsense, and spikes and knives coming at them and things popping up who wants to, isn't there a better way to live? But people pay money and go and they watch that stuff to get horrified. That's the spirit of the devil, I'm telling you. And you know, there's a new movie coming out. I don't know if it's going to make it to this area. I hope it doesn't. It's called Antichrist. And it is reportedly, I've only seen little things written about it, reportedly is one of the worst, if not the worst movie ever made. So that's actually has been released in certain places, I believe, and it'll probably make it to Madison. Madison gets everything. That place is just a magnet for every kind of perversion and evil there is. But this verse says, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. A mind filled with fear is not sound. It's unsound. It's troubled. Every kind of reaction comes from it. Again, we look at the perfect love of God and fear cannot exist. So we know what to do. Let the love of God be perfected in us. Trust Him. Believe Him.